Hello and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for my very next guest is this incredible actor known by the name of Logan Allen, who's in the Netflix series called Sweet Magnolias. Who plays the role of Kyle in the Netflix series. So I'm about to add Logan into the live now to have a chat with Logan about his role as Kyle. So yeah, let's add Logan in and have a chat with Logan. Hey Logan, what's up?
Hey man, what's up?
Nothing much. Well, I just want to say first up, thank you
Oh,
so much, Logan, for taking the time to
there you
join
go.
my show. It's such a pleasure having you on. So, to people that don't know who you are, Logan, if you can give like a bit of backstory first about who you are and what you do, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Sure. My name's Logan Allen. I'm an actor from Orlando, Florida. You guys might have seen me in Sweet Magnolias on Netflix, Creep Show, Bernie the Dolphin 1 and 2, a couple different things. I'm around.
Well, we'll dive right into the very first question now, Logan. So, for my very first question, as you mentioned, Magnolias, you play the role of Kyle. What was like the whole experience like getting to play the role of Kyle in Sweet Magnolia season one?
Getting to play Kyle was great. I fell in love with the character. He's just this really innocent, genuine, sweet guy that is really one of the only I don't know. I feel like he's really the glue for a lot of characters in the first season. Kind of keeping everybody together. Um, he's also kind of that comedy relief. You know what I mean? He kind of plays some of that as well. Kind of brings in some of that comedy that the show really needs at sometimes because there's so much drama going on. There's so much. So just playing Kyle's great. Mainly for those reasons. But yeah, it was great. And then coming back and playing him for season two, which I'm sure that's gonna be a question. Just kind of revisiting that character again, because you really don't get that opportunity much. You know what I mean? Coming and playing a character for a second time, if it's a sequel or if it's another season. So just being be able to come back to him has been great, and I just love playing him just because there's so much that he hides as well. So there's always something new that happens, and always something new that he really comes out with. You know what I mean? There's so much about his personality we don't really know yet.
So on to my very next question. So what was it like getting casted as the role of Kyle for Sweet Magnolias, and like what was like audition process like for you?
Yeah, so my agent sent me an email, like every other audition, saying, "Hey, here's a role you can try out for if you want to." I said, "Yeah, let's do it." I didn't know anything about it other than it said a Netflix something. I don't know, it was untitled Netflix thing, I believe, and it said role of Kyle. So I went in there and I got a couple scenes that were actually from season one, and I did those scenes. It was a self tape, so I recorded myself and then sent it to my agent, and they sent it to the casting director. And then I can't remember how long it was, but I'm assuming it was only like a few weeks later. I got a call back, and I actually went up to Atlanta this time and got in front of the executive producer and the showrunner, and I did my callback, and I did the same scenes and everything just in front of everybody in person, which I love doing, by the way, because I feel like you can engage more. You know what I mean? It's more true other than just a camera on you. So I love callbacks for that reason. But yeah, getting to see him in person was great, and I did that role. And then about, I don't know, I would say a couple weeks later, maybe even a month later, I remember specifically I was in a Publix parking lot. We just got back from shopping, and I got my car, and my agent called me and said, "Yo, you got the role. Congrats!" And it was amazing, man. I've always wanted to be on a Netflix show, and just something involving Netflix. So being able to live out that dream has been great. And the thing too is like every time you audition for something, after you audition, you kind of just forget about it. And I know that may sound weird, but there's so much rejection in the industry in general. Um, that you just kind of have to learn to do an audition and forget about it. You can't really dwell on that because I mean, you only really get 5% of the auditions you do. I do an audition. I mean, sometimes a couple times a week, maybe once a week, and I mean, so like, and I've only got a couple, so you just kind of got to learn to kind of push it to the side or whatever, and kind of forget about it. And whatever happens, happens. And if it's meant to be, it'll happen for you. And that's kind of my mindset. So I kind of forgot about it. And then when I got the call, it was it was a big surprise.
So on to our very next question. So, what was your favorite memorable moment or scene to shoot as the role of Kyle for Sweet Magnolias, and why?
Yeah, my favorite scene. There's some good ones in season two that you guys are gonna love, but I think season one, the scene with me and Noreen, at the end of the play, it was when she was leaving and all that, and there was that heartfelt, heart to heart moment. That one was fun to do with Jamie Lynn because that was my last scene shooting with her. So it was a real goodbye, you know what I mean, for a little bit. So it was very emotional, but it was great, and just kind of seeing, I mean, that relationship really built up over the episodes. That was like one of the main, really good relationship in the show, and I think it was a great ending for that relationship in season one. And it was a lot because they both really helped out each other. Nobody else was really there for them, and they were there for each other. So it was great, and I mean, Jamie Lynn, she's phenomenal, and I think she did really well, and that was just a really good scene overall.
So on to my very next question. Congratulations on season two, by the way. So with season two coming very soon, what are your like hopes and expectations for season two? And if you could see any like favorite moments for Kyle next, what would you like to see and why?
Sure thing. I'm like really bright. Let me turn this down a little bit. There we go. Uh, um, yeah. So season two. I can't say much, but there's a lot of great things, and obviously the big question is who's in the car. That's like the big thing. Um, it's going to be great. I feel like it's going to be a big surprise to a lot of people, and um, there's a lot of good things in the second season. There's so many characters. I know a couple of people got upgraded to series regulars. I think Eric was one of them, and a few others. So there's a lot of new storylines. There's a lot of new characters. There's a lot of surprises, and I think season two may just even be better than season one. Just with all the stuff going down, and I just got the script for the last two episodes, and it's pretty wild. It gets pretty insane. So yeah, there's some really good moments, and there's great relationships that you don't expect, um, but they're really great. And I mean, Cheryl and the entire writers' room has done a phenomenal job. They really know. And like the thing, there's so many characters too, and to make that to make that work in a show, you know what I mean? It's insane. Like there's a solid 20 characters that are in like every episode. You know what I mean? That was even with season one. And to make that work and to make it flow really smoothly and to give every character their moment, it's unbelievable. So that's a big shout out to the writers room.
So on to our very next question. So to people that haven't seen the first season of Sweet Magnolias, why would you recommend Sweet Magnolias for anyone that hasn't seen it yet?
It's a good family show. It's a good way to bring everybody together and enjoy it. There's the different age groups. You have the grandparents in the show, you have the moms in the show, and you have like the teenage drama going on. So you can sit there with your whole family, and every person can relate to it with at least one character. Just because there are so many characters, and it's a very diverse cast, and each I really do think that when it comes to people being able to relate with the characters, it's great. And it's funny. It's an emotional roller coaster for sure. There's scenes that'll make you cry. There's scenes that'll make you laugh. There's scenes that will make you really mad. So it's great. I mean, just as a family show, you can just sit down with everybody and just enjoy it.
So on to your next question. So you've also been in a incredible series, by the way, called Creep Show back in
Yeah.
2019, and you actually played the role of Harold. What was that whole experience like for you, getting to be in Creep Show?
Yeah, man, I'm a big horror fan. I love horror, and that was my first horror gig. That was just great. I mean, I got to meet Greg Nicotero and work with him. He's a big guy in the horror community, so I was a big fan of him. And I remember actually walking in and meeting him for the first time, and he brought me into his office, and he had like The Walking Dead like artwork on the wall and like all types of stuff. It was unbelievable, man. It was great. He's a really nice guy, by the way, and it was great working with him. And one thing I love about Creepshow is they use practical effects. You know what I mean? They kind of stick to that old classic 80s horror and, what the actual Creepshow movies did. And they really stuck true to that, which I really loved. So it was kind of cool seeing that come to life and to kind of experience that. It was great. And, I'm a big fan of the movies. So, when I got that audition, I was like, man, I really want to get this. That'd be so cool. And just kind of being on set, it was very surreal. But it was really cool. And like I said, I'm a big horror fan, so just kind of being involved with that it was a dream come true, and it was great. Um, and I love this series as well. They do a great job in telling those stories, man. And they're very effective. But yeah, everybody was great. I mean, the cast and crew was phenomenal, and just, I mean, we only filmed I think 4 days, 5 days. So it was pretty quick shoot. But it was a blast. It really was.
So on to our very next question. So in 2018, you have also been in such an incredible film, by the way. What was it like being in Bernie and the Dolphin and getting to play the role of Kevin in Bernie and the Dolphin?
Yeah, man, Burning the Dolphin, that was great. It was a while ago. But yeah, that was great. That was my first movie I ever did. So it was a whole new experience for me. Before that, the only other film slash TV thing I did was Talia in the Kitchen, which was a show I did back in 2015. I only had a couple episodes on that. So this is my first big thing, and just kind of being able to experience that with everyone, it was really just amazing. The crew and cast was phenomenal. They were all very welcoming and really great. Obviously I was really new to this, so I was, scared. I was a little nervous. They really, welcomed me into the family, and we had a great time. And yeah, and working with dolphins, man. Let me tell you something. That was really cool, bro. Dolphins are like they're like little dogs almost. Like their curiosity is so insane. Like I remember we filmed at Marineland. Shout out to Marineland. That's where we did the sanctuary stuff. And I remember you would like walk past the little pools where they're at, and they would stick their head up and just like follow you all around the pool. And they would just play around with you. They had like little footballs they would throw at you, and you could throw back to them. It was insane. I was playing catch with a dolphin. But no, it was great, man. It's a really fun family film. Once again, if you're just having like a family movie night on the weekend or on a Friday night, it's a good one to put in. I mean, Patrick Muldoon's in it, Kevin Sorbo's in it, so some people, some familiar faces you'll see. But yeah, it was great, man. And then obviously we came back for the second one, which was really fun, kind of once again revisiting that character and revisiting everybody, and it was great to make another film.
I just want to recommend you, by the way. So I actually live in Brisbane, Australia, and there's a place called SeaWorld where they actually have dolphins on the Gold Coast in SeaWorld. If you ever
Yep.
get the chance to come to the Gold Coast in Australia, highly recommend go to SeaWorld and experience like the dolphins at SeaWorld.
Dude, like Australia is one of the places I really want to go to. Like that is like number one on my bucket list, man. I love Australia. I love your guys' accents. Like I really love it. So yeah, just going there, dude. I'm totally down. I'm really down. Like when all this stuff, COVID stuff kind of calms down here, dude, 100%. I'm going to Australia. I got you on that. And SeaWorld, I got you. Okay. Appreciate
Awesome.
it.
You're very welcome. So on to my very next question. So who inspired you as a person to get into acting in the first place?
So, um, we kind of did it through a family friend. My mom's a teacher, and she taught this family who had a kid in acting. And we became pretty close to the family because they had like three, four sisters, and my mom taught like almost everyone. So we became really close with them. And one day they were like, you should really get your kid into acting. I think he'd do good. And we weren't so sure just because nobody in our family is in acting, so it was really new to us. And I know that the business can be really sketchy, you know. So we were really hesitant, but they kind of helped us get going and got our feet wet, and helped us with the agents and all that and getting some representation, and just kind of they already knew the connection, so they really helped us out. So shout out to the Saltises, they really helped us. Um, so yeah, it was just kind of through a family friend, and ever since then it was just kind of I started out with like commercials and modeling and stuff like that, and then eventually I got that Nickelodeon show, which actually the daughter who was an actress was in as well. So it was kind of cool how all that kind of came back together. Yeah.
So on to my very next question. So if you could like be in any TV or movie franchise, what would it be and why?
Man, that's a tough one. Like I said, I'm a big horror fan, so I think just anything horror, like that's my next goal is to be in a horror movie. I mean, obviously I worked on Creepshow, but just being in a horror film, like that's the next thing I want to do. I mean, I don't care what it is, Halloween, whatever it is. The funny thing about that is I actually auditioned two times for the newer Halloween trilogy they're doing. So I think Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. I auditioned two times, so but I didn't get the roles, but yeah, just being able to even audition for it's amazing. So, but yeah, just I think anything horror would be great, movie or TV show. Just like I said, I had such a blast, and I'm such a big horror fan. So just being on set, dude, it's just such a cool feeling.
Awesome. So on to our very next question. So what have you learned about yourself as a person, like especially during COVID?
Yeah, obviously COVID was horrible, but there was a lot of good things to come out of it, like with the quarantine and everything. I think just kind of spending time with family, I think was one of the main things, and just kind of realizing, how much we take for granted, just because, I mean, we're going so fast in life, we really don't get that break too much. I mean, we don't ever get that break. So just being at home with the family and some friends and stuff, it was good to just learn more about that and to appreciate that more. So I would say I became more of a family man, and appreciated them, which I didn't think I could do, but I did eventually appreciate them a lot more. Um, yeah, I think that's probably one thing that came out, something positive that came out of COVID.
So on to our very next question. So what are like the positive and negative sides into the whole acting industry, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an actor?
Yeah, some of the positives I think, just obviously meeting people is always good. Like I'm not gonna lie, I fanboyed a few times. So that's really cool, just kind of meeting those people. And I think another positive is just you can be as creative as you want to be because you get a character, and yeah, you have some like direction and stuff. There's like a character breakdown, but really it's your character. You can do pretty much whatever you want, and you have to kind of bring yourself into the character as well. So it's gonna be very unique to you. So I think the creativity part's really fun, because you can just kind of experiment with it and have a good time, and you're always playing different characters. You know what I mean? So that's really fun as well. But I think some of the negatives is like I kind of mentioned it earlier, but the rejection part. You get rejected a lot, so you have to kind of stay in that positive, healthy mentality of just okay, whatever happens, happens. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So I think that's a big negative. Is you? I mean, when I first started, I couldn't really take it either. You know what I mean? I wanted every single job I did, right? And I kind of dwelled on it. So I've learned though to just kind of put it to the side, and once again, if it happens, it happens. Um, but I think when you first start out acting, that's kind of a hard obstacle to overcome. But I did now, and thankfully, because it was a little tough because every single audition you do, you know what I mean? It's just that stress is there, and once you get past it, it's, I mean, such a relief.
So I'm going to very last question, Logan. So what's like next for you for like the rest of 2021, like project wise that you'd like to announce on the show?
Yeah, so far, nothing yet other than filming Sweet Magnolias season two, which I think, we're over halfway done now. So I don't know when that's going to come out. I have no idea. I've heard on a few articles next year, but I haven't heard anything yet. Um, but yeah, nothing else, man. It's just been, season two, and just kind of, working on school as well. I'm trying to get school done. I'm gonna be a senior this upcoming year, so I'm trying to get it done while I can. But yeah, man, season two, and that's pretty much been it for me, And season two was the first just acting project that since COVID, so it was kind of good to get back and get going again. But yeah, you guys are gonna love it. I see a lot of people asking when it's gonna come out, and once again, I don't really know. I think maybe next year. That's what I've seen on like articles and stuff, but I haven't heard nothing official.
Well, can I just say thank you so much, Logan, for taking the time to join my show. It's been such a pleasure having you on. Do you have like any last final thoughts or anything that you'd like to say to people on the show?
Yeah, and thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on. But yeah, guys, just keep a lookout for season two. When we wrap, I'll start posting some behind the scenes that I can post. And there'll be some good content on the way. But yeah, next year I believe when it's once again I don't really know. I haven't heard nothing official, but next year I think is when the release date is going to be. We'll hear something about it, probably soon. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Everybody stay safe. Try to keep that positive mentality, man. Live life to the fullest, enjoy it, and you guys all have a good one.